Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I have our dealership shop truck here, and I've driven this truck around a whole bunch, taking it on long runs, so I know how it's like to live with a Ranger and to drive one frequently, to get in and out of it, the visibility. So I wanted to give you guys my 8 things that I want them to improve on the next generation Ranger. And this is a really good Ranger, but there are a few things that I'd like for them to improve on a next gen version. So starting off with number 1 is I want them to make LED headlights standard on all models. So the new Ford Maverick has LED standard on all trims, the new Bronco Sport. So I would really like if they made LED headlights standard. It can be projectors or reflectors, whichever they feel is necessary. Number 2 will be a horsepower and torque bump for the 2.3 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. So let's go ahead and pop the hood and check it out real quick. So right here we have the 2.3 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. This is the standard engine across the board. There's no upgrade, no lower tier engine, anything like that. On premium gas, it makes 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. And this is a very potent engine. To be honest, on 91 octane or premium gas, I feel like it actually makes more than what they say it does, because it propels this Ranger really, really well. But it would be nice if they had like a horsepower and torque bump, because no one wants a next gen car that has the same exact horsepower and torque figures. One thing I want them to do as far as engines are concerned is make the 2.7 optional. They have it in the Bronco, so I feel like having the 2.7 optional in the Ranger would be a really nice added bonus. All right guys, go ahead and roll into number 3, and that is to tighten up the suspension and smooth out the transmission. And then also with that smoothing out the transmission, make the throttle response better. So what do I mean by that? So for the suspension, when you're driving around in these Rangers, it tends to be a little bit bouncy and kind of pogo stick like, and I know that they can improve this because the Ranger Tremor doesn't really have that issue. So it is kind of bouncy when you're just kind of cruising around, and I get it, it's a pickup truck and everything, but it's a little bouncier than I'd say most people would want. And then as far as the transmission tuning is concerned, on these Rangers, I think it's a mixture between the throttle response, the way this engine makes power, and the transmission tuning. Because what happens is you'll put your foot down kind of far and nothing will happen, and then it'll take off, and then you'll kind of let up on the gas because it gives you too much acceleration, and then it'll be kind of jerky as the transmission's trying to figure out what you're doing. And the transmission itself, just kind of going in and out of gears and reverse to drive and stuff, is just a little bit jumpy on this in comparison to like F-150s, Mustangs. They're a lot better as far as the transmission smoothness is concerned. So I really hope that they smooth out the transmission tuning, work on the throttle response, and then the 2.3 and the EcoBoost Mustang does not have that like really bad like turbo lag or anything like that. So it's definitely doable. For the rest, let's go ahead and hop inside, because the rest of the improvements are on the interior. And by the way, obviously for next gen, we want them to redesign the whole exterior and interior and make it look nice. So that's not included on my list, but that's just kind of like an obvious one. Hopefully the redesigned model, they make the interior and exterior look nice. Let's go ahead and hop inside and go over some specific features. All right, just start it up. By the way, this is a 2020 XL model, XL with the crew cab. Now that we're on the interior, let's go ahead and jump into number 4, and that is make Sync 4. That's the newest version of Sync with the 8-inch screen. Make Sync 4 standard across all Ranger trims. So in the F-150 and the Bronco and the Bronco Sport, the 8-inch Sync 4, well, some of them don't have Sync 4 yet, but the 8-inch screen is standard on all of them, the 8-inch touchscreen. So that is one improvement I'd like them to make. And then like the Bronco, I want them to have that 12-inch huge screen just available as an option on like the high-end models. I think that's very fair. For number 5, I want to talk about the interior layout and the space. So I'm 6'5", so I'm kind of tall. So you can see I'm kind of close to everything. So like I'm kind of close to this area right here. I have to have the seat back far enough so that my knee doesn't like touch this hard plastic area right here. And then this area is rubbing up against the door. And that's okay as far as like being like feeling like you're secure in the car and like you're not moving around a lot. I like that part of it, but it is a little bit tight for someone tall like me. But I can definitely fit in here fine. I've taken it on long trips, and it's no big deal as far as that's concerned. But The layout, I just want them to just improve the layout and everything, and kind of improve this area, kind of incorporate like a wireless charging pad in there. And then also, just on the topic of including stuff, for four-wheel drive Rangers, I want them to include four-wheel drive auto like they do on Lariat and F-150s and some Bronco models, because four-wheel drive auto is extremely convenient for slippery conditions if you don't want the actual locked 4-high mode where, you know, binds the wheels if you're on, you know, dry surfaces. So I feel like having a 4 auto would be nice as well. And another thing is, even on Lariats, this panel right here is hard touch. So I'm not the kind of person that wants like a base model truck to be super fancy or anything like that. I understand that there's different price points and different trims and everything like that, but I want them to make at least optional on higher trims a soft padded area right here, because right here is soft, which is perfectly fine, and then the armrest in the middle here is soft, so that's all good because that's where you put your arms. But I want this area soft on both sides and the back. I feel like just making this soft would make a mile of difference as far as comfort is concerned, because everything else is fine. Because like I mentioned, this area and this area is the only area that you actually like rest your arm on. I'm not the kind of person that needs a leather stitched soft dashboard or anything like that, because you're not touching the dashboard anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's hard plastic. At least that's my ideology on that. Then for number 6, I want to talk about some features that I want them to include in the next gen Ranger. So currently only Lariats can get a light in the center, or I should say in the glove box here. So I want them to continue having that option, and then I want them to have a light in this one, because even on Lariats you don't get a light in this center area. So having a light in here and there would be very much appreciated. And another thing is, I know this is a work truck, but like, it's one thing if it doesn't have illumination, that's fine. If it's a base truck, I get it, but not having mirrors at all, I feel like is just a little too basic, especially since this one has the XL like power equipment group and stuff like that. So I feel like having mirrors standard on all models would be fine, and it's not going to cost them that much extra. All right guys, now let's go ahead and jump into number 7. And for number 7, we're going to go to the back seat. So let's go back there right now. All right guys, so I'm pretty sure you can tell what my next one's going to be is improve rear seat leg room, because this seat is adjusted how I sit in it at 6'5", and like I mentioned in a lot of my videos, I do sit closer to the wheel than other people that are my height, and you can see there's like no room back here. And this is the crew cab, mind you. Let's go ahead and hop inside here and see how I fit. So you can see I'm like way up into the driver's seat right here. Knees are like way around it. If I close the door, I'm gonna smash my knee. So definitely they need to improve the rear seat leg room. If you have a shorter family, like let's say you have like a 5'5" person in the front and 5'5" in the back, it would fit fine. But for taller people, the rear seat leg room definitely can be improved upon. And I've tested out the new Bronco rear seat leg room with the 4-door, and it's actually pretty good. So I'm hoping that they incorporate that leg room into the next gen Ranger. I'd really like it if they would add rear seat air ducts back here, or at least make it an option on higher end models, because currently right now you can get extra connectivity. So I think you can get like a home power outlet and some other stuff back here on higher end models, but you still can't get rear seat air vents. And to finish it off for number 8, I would love it if they would add a Raptor trim level, because I feel like that would open up a whole new ball game for mid-sized trucks, and they could put like a tuned version of the 2.7 twin turbo V6 in there, or they can go all out and put a 3.5 in there. I feel like that'd be insane. If you have a Raptor trim Ranger with a 3.5, or maybe like a highly tuned 2.7 like I mentioned, would be really cool and open up a whole new segment for mid-sized trucks, kind of like how the TRX made Ford make the Raptor R. All right guys, for this last part of the video, I want to talk about just 3 things that the current Ranger has that are good options that I don't want them to cost cut on the next gen Ranger. So number 1, this is a little one. I think the Ranger is the only Ford vehicle to have power locks, or not power locks, to have door lock switches on the back seats. I feel like that's really cool to have those. Maybe it's a safety concern if you have like kids back there, but I feel like that's pretty cool. And I feel like for the next gen, they might take that out. So I'm hoping that they keep that there. And then another thing is the dual note horn. So what I mean by that is, if you listen, the horn sounds completely normal. It's loud, and it doesn't sound like a wimpy sounding horn. Because some of the new Ford models, they wanted to cost cut, and they put a single note horn in, and it's kind of like a high pitch, kind of a wimpy sounding horn. And last but not least, hood struts. So you can see when I opened up the hood earlier in the video, the hood went on its own and it held itself up. I don't want Ford to make a prop rod and take away the hood struts for the next gen. I really hope that they don't do that, because they did that with the Explorer. Because the 2011, I think it started in 2011, the 2011 to 19 Explorer had hood struts, and then the 2020 Explorer, they went back to a prop rod. So I hope that they keep the hood struts for the next gen Ranger. All right guys, well I hope you enjoyed my video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with the improvements I think Ford should make on the next gen Ranger? I think the next gen Ranger might be revealed in 2022 as a 2023 model, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully they do all those improvements I was telling you guys about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.